Hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome to this League of Europe Formula 2 round 4. We're here at Belgium this evening, and I'm here to take you through it for the duration. My name is QVR Killer. Excuse me, I'm just eating my dinner because a man had parents' evening and then thought it was a good idea to go straight into some league racing commentary. No matter. I'm sure it'll be an absolute cracker because USA last week was a blindingly exciting race, and yet we didn't have a single retirement. Remarkably, all 18 or 17, however it was that started, finished the race. Hopefully we can have more of the same today. We've got a grey and overcast and gloomy looking track ahead of the drivers, and I have no one to go through it with. It's just me. I'm afraid you have to put up with my dulcet tones, although I have had some people say I've got quite a sultry, soothing voice, so we'll see how that goes. If anyone is watching, all three of you, hello, the three of you watching, thank you for tuning in and making my life not a waste of space on this Tuesday evening, but it's better than watching Chelsea lose to Borussia Dortmund, so there is that as well, although excited as I am for the downfall of Graham Potter. Spa, longest track on the calendar for the drivers today, and a real classic for in Formula One in the motor racing heartland of Western Europe. And let's go on board with QVR Nathan, a former F2 champion and a would-be F2 champion as well, narrowly lost out on the title to QVR Campbell as the result of a concerted conspiracy against him that we mentioned last week. We've got an NSX 1-2, although I do believe Montana has a qualifying ban. He was asked something in chat about turning around and retiring. QVR Verstappen, who may well be host, has left the session, so I don't know how that's going to go. But at the end of the first sector, we've got Montana, Connor and Luke as our top three. Campbell lurking in fourth, and I think might we be getting a restart because people are leaving the session. Oh no. Are we getting a restart? We are getting a restart. For God's sake, let's voice my anger and frustration in the F2 Discord channel. Will no one think of the commentators? There we are, making my feelings well and truly known there. I was meant to have a certain Ariel Felipe with me in the commentary box this evening, but he's done a runner and has fallen asleep. We've still got some people going around finishing their laps, even though we're restarting. It's still Montana from Connor from Campbell. Apparently setups aren't locked, which is why we're restarting. This qualifying session is completely academic. Nonetheless, it's good for the drivers that are still in it to get their eyes in, perhaps, and just spot some of those breaking points. Get a little bit of practice in, of course. Drivers don't find out the track until a couple of hours before the race. Montana has gone faster with the 54.051. We'll see how that compares to the actual pole time we'll get momentarily. We are going to get a new lobby set up here. We're up to 5 viewers. It's mightily exciting. If you're with us, say hello in stream chat. All 6 viewers. Wow, this is crazy. I've never had to command the attention of this many people before. Montana fastest with a 54.051. Connor more than 3/4 of a second back, but as I said, means absolutely nothing. A bit like pre-qualifying back in the day for Ariel Felipe's D2 Championship lead, because he's going to throw it all away anyway at the end. So I might just mute myself, to be honest, and eat some food. So I'll be back in a few when we get a new lobby, because I've got some food to munch. And we're back. Hello. We're in for a restart here at Spa-Francorchamps. And I need to stop without leaving. I need to talk without leaving just random massive gaps in everything I say. It really disrupts my flow. I do it when I teach as well. It's an absolute travesty. I'll start a sentence and then I'll forget whatever amazing thing I'm saying before I finish. But we're here and we're going to go through the championship standings because why not? We've got a gap to fill. So Campbell took a feature race victory and a podium, a third place finish in the sprint. Apologies, at Kota last week. He leads the championship with 113 points. In second place, NSX Montana, 5-time League of Europe Division 1 champion. He's got 95 points. NSX Connor is in third with 83. QVR Verstappen in fourth with 80. Led a large chunk of that feature race last week on the alternate strategy and then slipped into the realm of obscurity when push came to shove in the second stint. RLP's on 69. QVR Cortez on 62, Luke also on 62. A little gap to IRT Tobe on 49, Rocco, Reggie Furiel on 41. He missed the first round. Larkin in 10th on 39, then Marcy 36, Jewelbroom 35, Koskapin 22, Lars 22, Farrell 20, Forza Brendan 17, IRT Darry 16, Miami 4S 10, Ariel Felipe 4, Chill 3, The Scream 3, and California 5 on 1. So we are just about ready to get going, and let's see, we had a 54.0 as our poll time last time around, but that was with setups enabled, and that was NSX Montana doing what Montana does. I'm sure Montana has a myriad of setups available for every possible track and every possible track condition. I think he has admitted as much as well, so we'll see. We've got three Formula 2 champions on the grid today. QVR Nathan, Toxic MML, and QVR Campbell. In fact, I think I'm right in saying that F2 has been fairly monopolised by those three since its inception. Let's have a little look back. So in Division 1 in Season 7, say Division 1, the only division, that was Campbell beating out QVR Nathan. In Season 6, Nathan was champion from Campbell. Season 5, when we had two divisions of F2, Toxic won that title. Toxic won Season 4 as well. And RJDW was champion of Division 2 that season. And in fact, in Season 5, Division 2 champion was California 5. So in fact, every single League of Europe champion in Formula 2 is, I think, on the grid today, quite possibly. Yeah, I think that's an interesting little factoid for you. Oh no, there's one missing, it's B. Morgan. If only B. Morgan was here. Otherwise we would have every single Formula 2, Division 2, Formula 2 champion on the grid. And it is Nathan is down in 18th place. He's our most recent champion. And he's not, our second most recent champion. Campbell's our most recent champion. He's not having a good time of it, particularly so far. Must have gone invalid. So let's switch to Montana as we come through the Lecombe chicane. Nice threading the needle of the car there through the right hand and then the left hand, using lots of curb on the inside, a little bit of snap oversteer on the exit of Malmedy, and then through the hairpin, whose name escapes me, I think, but Montana not using as much of the track as he possibly could be there, but I'm sure he knows what he's doing more than me. Through No Name and then down the hill towards the mighty Puhon corner. And flickering down one gear for Montana in fifth, using lots of the track to try and carry as much speed as you can down towards the Lefani chicane. He leads from Campbell. Cortez. Rocco is in fourth, an impressive lap from him so far. Toxic jockeying away with Koskapin and Pease, and Luke and Larkin for Pease 5 to 10 with Montana. That looks so neat and tidy, doesn't it? Through the first part of Stavolo, and then the second, easy to trip you up, that second part of Stavolo in a Formula 1 car. Not the case in Formula 2. Montana and Campbell seem to have been very comfortably in first and second all the way through this lap. Now just Blanchimont to navigate, and then the reprofiled bus stop chicane, not as it used to be back in 2005, I think was the last year we ran with the old configuration. Changed for 2007. And Montana's going to take the short dash to the line, stays to the right side, It's a nice short run, and he's on pole, but only by 16 thousandths of a second from QVR Campbell, and was in fact a second slower than his effort with a setup enabled on the abandoned first start. So Montana's on pole from QVR Campbell. Cortez is in third, half a second back from the top two. Cortez third, Larkin fourth, Verstappen fifth, Rocco sixth, Luke seventh, Toxic eighth, Koskappen ninth, Tope 10th. Tope for the second week in a row, I believe, gets sprint race pole. Pease will start 11th, Miami 4S is in 12th, and Marty 13th, Sagat 14th, RJW Videos 15th, and California, Connor, Darry and Nathan, all those three disqualified. Nathan very early on as well. So that is your starting grid, and in the sprint race it will be Tope, Koskappen, Toxic, Luke, Rocco, Verstappen. Larkin will start 7th, Cortez 8th, Campbell 9th, and Montana 10th. How quickly, with a half-second advantage over the rest of the field, will they cut through that traffic? Last week the reverse grid didn't impede anyone all that much. They cut through pretty much like a hot knife through butter. We've got FRL Charlie in the chat saying "Hoy, hoy yourself, my good man." So everyone should be on the hard tyre in the sprint race, which I have no idea what it is. Is it the medium? Is it soft? Is it super soft? God knows anymore. But I'm excited to see Montana and Campbell, see what they can do in the early stages of this race. It's a fairly straightforward track to overtake on, at least in F2, and we're going to get some action underway pronto. We've got a formation now. It's Tope, as I said, from Koskappen. And have we got anyone trying something different with the tyres? Nope. Everyone's on the medium, because that's nice. It means I can take that awful, hideous tyre graphic away from the side of the screen. If anyone's following the Europa Conference League tonight, it's Lazio 1, Alkmaar 2. The first leg ended... Oh no, this is the first leg, ignore me. Quarter of an hour to go. Lazio took a 1-0 lead throughout. The mighty Pedro, formerly, of course, of Chelsea and Barcelona fame. In the Champions League, much more exciting. We've got Chelsea about to smash Dortmund by 4-0. So do stick around for that one. We've got a bit of wheel-to-wheel racing here between Tope and who is that in the other car? I've got no idea. It's a Dams. I think that might be Pease, possibly. I know Pease is racing for Dams. Who's in the other Dams? Got no idea. This is the trouble when they all have their Formula 1 liveries on. It's like you can't tell who is who. You can't tell the forest for the trees. You can't tell a bull for a Prima anymore. The other Dams is Martin 98, who I don't think would be as aggressive on the formation lap as Pease being. I think Pease just there for the giggles up front. So, who are we expecting to do well in this race, Killer? Well, Killer, I think that Montana's going to win this one. From Campbell in second, I think they're going to be a clear 1-2, and I think Rocco is going to come third. That's my prediction. Toxic will crash or get a penalty or something. He's not what he used to be. The man is washed up on ketamine. So it's time for someone else to step into the fray and have a successful Formula 2 race. Have we got anyone in chat? No, we haven't. And this is the longest formation lap of the season, and you can't tell. I'm starting to get a little bit bored here. Watching Tope in his Ralph Boschung car. Boschung, of course, who took his first Formula 2 victory at Bahrain in the sprint race at Sakhir on Saturday. Hopefully we'll have a more exciting race day than we had in the Formula 1 Sunday, when we saw the Red Bull liveried Red Bulls romp off into the desert night. So 19 cars on the grid, and it's Tope from Koskappen, and Koskappen and Toxic have both been disqualified. So they'll start a little further back in their grid spots, which is going to make Tope's life and Luke's life significantly easier, I think, if I haven't spoken too soon. Nathan disqualified as well at the back. So we have got Tope on pole position. Look at that extreme angle for him that he's got on that car is we've got 5 lights on ahead of the drivers, and we are underway for round 4 here. And Tope immediately covering off Toxic's dams in P3, a bit of a swiggle going on in the midfield, and we've got Toxic attacking Tope into turn 1, and he spins himself round, he lights up the rear tyres on the traction. Toxic plummets down the field to 15th, 16th. The man is completely washed up as we got some side-by-side here between Larkin briefly and Rocco there. No love lost between those two as we come up the hill, and behind them Cortez and Campbell going wheel to wheel all the way down to Lecom here, and they're going to be neck and neck. It's going to be a case of last of the late breakers, and I think Cortez is going to let that one go. We have got a virtual or full safety car here. It's a virtual safety car, and Campbell was just able in that to sneak away ahead as we've got Montana nearly hitting the back of Cortez there in the middle of Lecom, but spared any safety car related blushes there with Pease having to just tuck in behind. Can we see any damage for anyone around the field? I don't think so. So Tope across Kaplan have held on to their placings. Toxic is down now in 15th. Luke's up to 3rd, Rocco 4th, Stappen 5th, Larkin in 6th. I think everyone's gained a place. Yeah. So those guys up all the place each. Campbell up 2. Cortez has gained 1 on Toxic and lost 1 to Campbell, so he's where he started. Toxic a big loser. Miami's down 7, Marty's down 5, so they've had some dramas in and around there. I'm sure we'll be back under green flag conditions very soon. I think Marty's missing a front wing there. Indeed he is. And Miami too, as we are now back under green. They're going to have to make a pit stop on this lap as Campbell has caught Larkin napping through Stavolo on the restart here. It's going to be all wheel to wheel through the second part of Stavolo, and look at Montana's trying to get involved in this as well. Sorry, not Montana, it's Cortez, and he's been boxed in here now between Larkin, behind Larkin with his teammate in QVR to his side. Campbell's had to back out of that one, and now Campbell's left himself very vulnerable to NSX Montana as they all flood off the track. Pease picks up a penalty, and Pease has lost a couple of places in the process as we come into the bus stop chicane. Rocco's pass for Stappen up ahead. Meanwhile, we're looking at the battle between Connor and California. A D1 driver against a D4 driver in terms of their Formula 1 League of Europe pedigree there as we come towards Lecom. And that's a very late surge from Nathan up the inside. He sneaks by California there, and California will have to concede that place. And here comes Luke behind Rocco. Rocco clenching his butt cheeks through Eau Rouge there, just behind them Verstappen, who had such a good race last time out, is just keeping a watching brief on these two, looking to make a move if he can do. And Luke takes to the outside, having a look at Rocco there through Lecom. Rocco will be slightly compromised, but he's not going to slow him down anywhere near enough for Luke to do anything about it as they filter through Malmedy now and down the hill towards their hairpin. And up ahead, Tope 4/10 ahead of Koskappen, and Rocco 1.1 behind them. The top two have just checked out a little bit here, and Rocco needs to get a move on if he wants to get some DRS to protect himself from any advances behind. Toxic's had another mare. He's now down to 17th place, lost another 3 places there on the exit of No Name. Up ahead, Campbell v Larkin is the battle once again as we come towards Lefania. Larkin's not going to be baited into a late defensive move there, and he hangs on to all of his pineapples up there in P6 right now. And behind him, Montana, or behind Campbell rather, Cortez is looking pretty interested, isn't he? As Larkin gets a little out of shape on the second part of Stavolo, and I think it's going to give Campbell a very good run as they come towards Blanchimont now, the fast left-hander. And almost contact there. Campbell's up against the grasses, up ahead. Look at that. Verstappen and Luke doing the same thing as they bump wheels on the way now towards the bus stop chicane. Is anyone going to make a lunge up ahead? Verstappen's looking around the outside. That'll switch to the inside. No, he cuts back for the outside again. He's perhaps going to have a try into La Source. And now they're 3 wide. Larkin gets a better exit out of the bus stop chicane, and Cortez in that slipped ahead of Campbell. Campbell teeing up Larkin, has ended up teeing his teammate up for a move on himself, and Larkin defending there gets tagged at the back as Koskappen has dropped it on the exit of La Source. Meanwhile, we're going to watch this battle between Cortez, Larkin, Campbell, barging wheels through Eau Rouge there. Tremendous bravery, proper Gryffindor stuff from Campbell and Larkin there. No Hufflepuffs abound, but Larkin's lost a couple of places. He's lost one to Montana, and he's looking vulnerable to the ever aggressive and wily Nathan there in in the battle for P8, and we're still going at it here. Campbell's got a little out of shape through Lecombe, and Cortez is sniffing an opportunity. We've got to be careful, because look at who's right behind him. NSX Montana, second in the championship. Campbell leading the championship, of course. These guys are first and second for the feature race. They're cutting their way through the grid. I have to say, not as quick as I thought. Larkin will be feeling a little bit aggrieved now in that, I think. And this mistake across Kappa has also mean that Tope has got more than a DRS advantage through on Rocco now. Rocco's just going about his business well, avoiding the mistakes, and he's gained 3 places. Larkin got very out of shape through Puon, and that's left him sluggish on the run to Lefania, and Nathan and Connor are harrying and hustling him here on the way to the final sector. Larkin's got to be careful. He doesn't want to slip out of that train just ahead of him. Bit of a snap there from Connor, and I think that will just settle Larkin down. He needs to avoid too many more mistakes or battles, I think, just for a lap or two up ahead. Verstappen and Luke are going to go at it once again towards bus stop, and look at the run Verstappen's got now. He switches to the outside. Is he going to cut back to the inside? Luke's covering the inside off well, but Verstappen makes a late move, and Luke is very giving with the space. Verstappen, does he try the cut back? No, he hangs it round the outside. He's just going to get forced onto the Astro there. And again, you've got to be so careful here, because they're running so close together, nose to tail, that Campbell is waiting in the wings, but Verstappen doesn't need to worry about him, because he's going up the inside of Luke into turn 1, and all of this is allowing Rocco and Tope to get away like crazy here. Verstappen is through into P3, but he's going to lose DRS now on the run to Lecombe, and he could be finding himself absolutely sandwiched here between 3 or 4 drivers. Look at Cortez, ever the hungry driver in this race. He is really trying to put some moves on. He's neck and neck with Campbell. He's going to get ahead of Campbell, and Luke, with no DRS, is going to be stalk them out at the top of the straight. Campbell hits the back of Montana hits the back of Campbell. No, Campbell hits the back of Luke, and Luke drops it. All the cars look the same. I have no idea what's going on. Luke has been spun round by his own devices there. Cortez is up into 4th, Campbell's up into 5th, Montana's 6th. Larkin's regained the place he started out, and a big wobble for Campbell. No, Cortez, I can't tell the liveries apart. Cortez has a moment. Larkin picks up a penalty. Campbell couldn't make the move stick, as now Montana's pushing that ART through Puon, and Cortez goes off the track in 4th place. Might that open up a door for Campbell now into Lefania? Can the ART, can the Pooch Air fan turn defence into attack? I don't think he can. Cortez just about kept his eggs together there through Puon, and is going to keep P5, although it could very well be P7 or 8 in a lap, or it could be P3 or 4. It's changing so quickly. Verstappen is 2.4 seconds adrift of Rocco. Rocco is now reeled in IRT Tope for DRS range. Verstappen will be wanting some more shenanigans to go on behind, because that will give him the DRS gap to Cortez that he needs, or desperately like, as well. And Cortez goes very late on the brakes there. Campbell will try to cut back underneath him, get some slipstream and some DRS now towards turn 1, but Cortez has got DRS as well. Connor has now passed Larkin on the exit of the bus stop, and Larkin looking vulnerable to Nathan. He's going to lose another 2 places here, is Larkin, and behind them Cost Cap, and trying to recover from that spin at turn 1 earlier on. Can't do anything about Larkin or Nathan as they're going line astern up towards Eau Rouge now, and Nathan is really forcing every morsel of opportunity he can to try and get past Larkin there, but Larkin isn't having any of it. He's not batting an eyelid. Meanwhile, look at Pease off the track trying to get past Nathan, and Nathan once again on the attack. We've seen it so often, 3 wide into Lecombe, where the driver on the attack has quickly had to defend and end up losing a place in the process. And look at what's going on here. Larkin is shagging the back, there's no other word for it, the back of that Koskappen's car, or is it Pease? I don't know, we've got some lag going on, but Larkin was fully mounted, dry humping the back of that Red Bull livery Carlin, and he's getting forced out wide at no name here, clobbers the wall, probably got a warning for it, but he sneaks through into P10 for Puel. This is tremendous racing between these guys. I'm not sure it's particularly clean, but it is tremendous. We missed in all of that. Rocco has taken the lead of this race. He has passed IRT Tope into Lecombe, but we were watching this fascinating battle unfold. We didn't need to see that boring DRS overtake. Verstappen has gained a bit of time on that. He's 1.6 behind Tope now, and Campbell is just about out of Verstappen's DRS, but Campbell apparently sets a purple middle sector there, and Montana and Cortez once again the ones on the hunt, Connors with them as well. and it is, I think, 1 second. So Campbell 3.3 off the lead, Connor 4.0 off the lead. We've got 4 cars covered by 0.8 of a second as we come towards the bus stop. And Connor getting ever so close to the back of Cortez, but nothing he can do there. He's going to need some mistakes to go ahead of him. Luke and RJ are dicing away 2 Brummies there for P12 and P13, and Toxic has forced his way in the middle of that. He's now up into 13th place. I think RJ made some kind of mistake, because now look, Darry's on the attack into La Source, and can he force a way through there? I think it's going to be RJ that has the better run up the hill. Can he nab the slipstream off the back of Toxic as well? I think, yeah, Darry's going to have to concede that one. Up ahead, what have we got going on? We've got Cortez pursuing Montana now. And we've got Pease also passing Nathan. Nathan is having a very eventful race. His Coscappa now dispatches Larkin towards Lecom, but Larkin's not going to give this one up. I think he's going to have to. And another place lost for the D2 title contender. He's down to 11th place now. An eventful race, but eventful in all the wrong ways, because he's sliding backwards down the field. We got a yellow flag. That is Sagat, D3 driver, D3 championship leader, in fact, at the back of the field, has dropped it through Malmedy. Toxic gets up a penalty as well. We've only got 3 and a bit laps to go. It's been a breathless one from start to finish. Rocco has nearly got Tope out of the DRS range as well, which is worth noting. Up front, gets a penalty. I can't speak today. I'm gagging lollies here in the commentary box. And Connor, bit of a sideways moment, stepping on the throttle there through Stavilo, and he's going to try tuck into Cortez's slipstream and try and regain a bit. And he's got a good run here, actually, despite that wobble. Maybe the extension gave him a little bit more speed to carry through. But further up ahead, the real one is Campbell versus Verstappen. Good friends, good colleagues. Verstappen went off the track. He was spooked and scared there into going off the track and picked up a penalty for his troubles. Gap has crashed at Stavilo. But Verstappen's not going to give this one up if he has anything to say about it, and he's got the inside line for turn 1. No Hufflepuffs here, Gryffindors all the way. Oh, and Montana tags the back of Campbell. Pure sleepy moment for the Swiss man, and he drops all the way down to P9. He's behind Nathan now, into the clutches of Coscappen. And I think Montana, with his ABS, just misjudged the opportunity that he had there. He should have just let Campbell and Verstappen sort it out between themselves rather than forcing his way into that. And he's paid for his troubles as Montana gets past Pease, who had a very shoddy exit. Look at Montana and Nathan. I can guarantee these guys will be happily fighting each other away. And Nathan has lost a place to Coscappen as well in the Carlin. Behind them, Pease, and is just watching this, hoping something can happen around him. A few penalties coming in now in these last few laps of this race. Cortez has benefited from that Montana mistake. He's now really eyeing up the diffuser of NSX Connor's MP Motorsport car as they come into Puon now for the 7th time today. Montana just about off the track, held on to that position from Coscappen. Nathan rather it was that were going to Will. Montana managed to get past Coscappen in that. Nathan did not, but we'll see what Montana's place is like on the next lap, if he is still under threat from those Red Bull cars behind him. Verstappen and Campbell, let's go back to that battle. They swapped places on this lap. Campbell got past into Lecom while we were watching whatever was going off with Montana and Nathan behind them. Rocco, incidentally, just with 2 laps to go, looks like he has got this race fairly sealed. Penalty for Pease there, and Verstappen is 3/10 behind Campbell. He's well within his rights to go through. He's got a 3-second penalty, but why wouldn't you want to? Be a sweet bit of satisfaction for him to get past his good QVR colleague. We've got RJ and Darry, part 2 now through the bus stop chicane. Oh, and a wobble there. Oh no, RJ just got tagged by Darry. They do look very close together. Is Darry going to look to the inside into the La Source, or is he going to tuck in? He's going to tuck in, and in fact, he tucked so deep into that RJ's car. He plows into the back of it. Oh, it's a UNI virtuoso. There you go. Pile driver into the back of that UNI, and RJ, FC organiser extraordinaire, down now in 16th place and struggling. No points offered for him today. Verstappen did not get past Campbell. In fact, Campbell has now found his way into the DRS of IRT. Toby's going to get a 1 lap to have a go at that. Larkin has passed Toxic into Lecom. And we've got Connor and Verstappen. In fact, yeah, Verstappen was pursuing Campbell. Can't do that now. He's got to really pay attention to that bright white arrow behind him of NXX Connor that will be darting left and right, trying to force some kind of opening. Cortez, who was looking very fiery earlier in this race, just dropped back a touch. Looks like our real moves on this lap are going to be Campbell versus Tope for P2 and Connor versus Verstappen for a token P4. Connor will get P4 on penalties anyway at this rate. There's Tope, I think, in Ralph Boschong's car there. What is it? Campos. Just a little untidy through Stavolo, little wide, and you get a poor exit. You're going to suffer all the way down through, all the way through Blanchard, all the way to the braking zone of the bus stop, and it just leaves you so out of sorts. And Campbell will be just setting up the Campos nicely, looking to force some kind of move into La Source, as Connor sent it late and great on Verstappen but couldn't make the move stick. He went very deep, and in fact he's going to leave himself vulnerable now to the advances of QVR Cortez. We've got 1 DRS zone to go in this race. We are on to the last lap. Rocco's got a 2-second lead, but behind him, a big moment for Connor. The rear stepping out on him, and Cortez is this a whiff of an opportunity for the car in Logan Sargent's car as they ascend up Eau Rouge for the final time, and it does look like he's got a much better run this time. Has QVR Cortez, and Connor's got DRS, but I don't think he can stop here. The car, and he pulls to the inside line. It's going to be a drag race. We've got Campbell does get past Tope for P2, but we're going to look at this one. It's barge wheels once and twice, and almost all the way round there goes QVR Cortez. Just about caught his slide, and almost fashioned that into an opening in towards the hairpin here. Instead, he's going to sit back and see if there's anything can arise in towards the bus stop chicane. I think everyone else further back is settled down. Toxic is still aggressively hunting Larkin. RJ is behind California. Let's have a look at that battle for P15 here. And RJ, of course, got punted round by Darry. He's not giving up on gaining another place here. And Connor has passed Verstappen as he into the Lafania chicane there, side by side. And again they touch wheels. Verstappen's going to come out with this with the inside line for Stavolo. Connor might just sweep around the outside, and he does in fact, and Cortez might have as a chance to follow him. Forced up onto the gravel there is Cortez. These guys have both got penalties. This is for position. Not once, not twice, and Cortez into the wall and out of the race. I don't think he'll be too happy there, but also I think it was ill-advised to sit it out there. And Montana now might be the next one to attack Verstappen as we come towards the bus stop chicane. Rocco's going to come through the last 2 corners to claim a sprint race victory, but let's have a look at Montana. Verstappen goes defensive. Montana's going to cut back. Can Verstappen hold on now through the last corner? I think he can. He's not going to be spooked that easily. He takes P5 on track. Montana will jump him anyway. It's Rocco from Campbell, from Tope, from Connor, from Montana. Verstappen and Nathan finishing next to each other on track, both in the Van Ammers, the VAR car. Then Koskappen, Luke Larkin with that eventful slide down the field finishes 10th, P's 11th, Toxic 12th, Darry 13th, California 14th, RJ 15th, Gat 16th, Marty and Miami will complete the order. Cortez, our first F2 DNFer in 3 races, the first one to fail to finish the race since Silverstone, and if only he had finished, we would have gone 3 races in a row in F2 without a retirement, which would have been remarkable, but some things have to come to an end. Marty jumps out on penalties, and that is your order. So we're back for the feature race in Formula 2 in League of Europe this evening. If you needed reminding, I am QVR Killer and I'm taking you through the action this evening because I have no life. And also my girlfriend is busy tonight. NSX Montana is on pole from QVR Campbell, and Cortez is sitting in third. Larkin, fourth, had an awful race in the sprint, started 7th, ended up going backwards. Verstappen will start 5th. Rocco, our sprint race winner, starts from 6th. Do watch out for him, his pace looks very good. Luke 7th, Toxic 8th, Koskappen 9th, and Tope, pole sitter last time around, starts in P10 and does so for the second race in a row. Pease and Miami will both be hoping for better races this time around, as will Sagat and RJ. Couldn't make much progress in the sprint. QVR Nathan did make progress into the top 10 after a DSQ in qualifying. So we'll keep an eye on the progress of those two, particularly Nathan and Connor. Very much out of position in this race, and what probably by hook or by crook be looking to do anything they can to get through. We've had 3 absolutely cracking races in a row here in Formula 2 the last couple of weeks. Top banana, top grannies, more like, and hopefully we get another absolute belter in the 13 laps we've got ahead of us. And I'm going to make my prediction, and I'm going to say Campbell wins from Montana, and then Rocco for a double podium. So, let's check the starting tyres as they come around. Who's on the alternate strategy, who's on the preferred strategy. Everyone's on mediums and medium soft, apart from QVR Verstappen, who did the same last week, of course, looking for his 15 minutes of fame. And California 5, the exception. Campbell is going to take a very late starting grid spot. He's obviously wanting some heat in his tyres. We did see a spin as well. I can't remember who that was for. It was Ralph Boschong's car. I think it was IRT Tope, it must have been. Yes, so RJ Videos, W Videos is disqualified. So, 13 laps ahead of us, as we've just got Nathan coming into position now. Look at how Connor's angled his car towards the middle of the track there. That's interesting to note. So, we've already had one absolutely barnstorming race. Can we get another one? It's the Belgian race here. Feature race in Formula 2, and Montana gets a superb start, leads Campbell away, Cortez as well, the top 3 unthreatened in turn 1, but look at Cortez, sends it on to Campbell, contact between the pair of them. Verstappen makes a move, Larkin up as well, and Campbell's now got P2 ahead of Cortez. He's regained that place. Behind them, Larkin and Verstappen neck and neck into Eau Rouge. Larkin slots into 4th. Verstappen has to settle for 5th place where he started. Behind them, it's all going off, people flooding off the track there. Pede is looking to keep his position because he's got Koskappen and Tope very close behind him as we flood down towards Lecom here, and Tope tugging in slipstream. He's going to go for the inside on Koskappen. He then switches to the outside on Koskappen. He's going to try force the inside line here. Larkin's made a mistake in the middle of Lecom, or he's been tagged somewhere. He's going to plummet down to the back of the field, or at least into 13th place there. Nathan and Connor already up to 11th and 12th ahead of them. Toxic in the ART, hustling his way through the hairpin, keeping ahead of Pease. Pease has gained a couple of places as well, although he gets a little out of shape on the exit of the hairpin as they come in towards No Name. Koskappen watching the back of that Dams car very closely as Rocco made a mistake somewhere because he's very far off the back of P4, although that was the gap that Larkin was in quite possibly. Montana does lead by less than half a second. Cortez within 3/4 of a second behind them, but we'll see how quickly these guys flood away. Or run away rather, from the rest of the field. Connor has made another move. He's passed Tope, who started in P10. Tope now having to defend furiously from Nathan into Stavilo, and Nathan, look how close he is to the back of that car, and in fact he just taps him almost into the wall there. Larkin having to take evasive action, gets round and he gets into the slipstream of QVR. Nathan now towards the bus stop, and he's got a tremendous run through Blanchimont. Is Larkin going to fancy a lunge here, and Nathan gets very squiggly sideways through Blanchimont off the track. He has to cover the inside line, being compromised now for the rest of the chicane. He goes a bit deep. Larkin's going to try cut back underneath him, but I think Nathan carrying up speed, and Larkin has a wobble on the exit, as does Taupe. And Taupe's going to leave himself vulnerable to California 5. We've got a spinner. That is Luco 5HD has made a mistake as Larkin was looking for a move. It's now the other Charoux instead. California on the soft tyres. He's pursuing IRT Taupe as we've got some battling going on further ahead. Pease passes Rocco and Verstappen, swapping places with Toxic as well, and Rocco's going to try to get this place back on Pease. He's got a good run out of Radion, tucks into the back. No, he can't tuck into the back of Toxic there. Toxic's deciding who he wants to give some slipstream to. He's going to give it to Rocco and then darts to the outside to pick the preferred racing line into Le Com, and Rocco does stay ahead of Pease and Connor as well. Connor's out of 8th place. He's gained so many places from a DSQ in qualifying, and Pease got the inside line on Rocco. Ooh, tucks in Robert Einim, and Connor ploughs into the back of Pease's dams there. Got to be careful because Capon is right in his wing mirrors. And Connor's got a very good run here through No Name, and is Pease going to defend some fresh air on the inside line here? He just about sneaks back from the outside to grab the preferred racing line, but he picked up a penalty. Does Toxic ahead of him? He's leading this little group. He seems to be struggling right now. He's 2.8 seconds off the back of Verstappen, not the force in Formula 2 that he used to be, and he's now really struggling. Another wobble there out of Lefania, and that's going to give Rocco a big, well, not just a sniff, a gigantic smell, a farty smell as they come through the final sector here, which is just, in fact, the main straight. And Connor really getting shown the door by Pease, and he's going to touch him down the straight here. That sounds wrong, ignore I said that. As Rocco looking around the outside of a move for Toxic into Blanchimont, but he's not. He's going to take the outside line towards the bus stop. Is he going to have a chance here as Connor is defending now furiously from Capon, and a little bit of contact there, but wheel banging between Rocco and Toxic down the main straight. Could Pease try and make this a 3-wide move? He doesn't know where to go, does Pease? He's looking down the outside, and Toxic, and Pease gets turned round there. I think that was Capon possibly who's done the deed. Meanwhile, Larkin and Con, look at this, wheel to wheel up towards Eau Rouge, and Radion is going to be braver up the hill, and Larkin, Hufflepuff move there, backs out, and he's going to leave himself vulnerable to Nathan. Very Hufflepuff move, because Nathan benefits from the Badger's cowardice and takes P9. Campbell passes Montana for the lead here. We're so busy in the midfield, there's a battle for the lead going on. My apologies. Campbell passes Montana for P1, and Cortez is now looking for opportunity for P2. Verstappen's in this as well, of course. Remember, he's on the soft tyres. Capon has had a bummer at Le Com. Meanwhile, in the Pease train, it is Pease, Rocco, Connor, Nathan, Larkin. Now, Taupe is back into 10th. California's up into 11th place. And Connor and Nathan started right at the back of the field, but they've carved their way through the traffic with relentless force, which is ironic because they're NSX and QVR drivers. And they're now looking hungry for not just a top 10 finish, but maybe a top 5 one as well. Let's go back to our battle for the lead, which we have been neglecting. My apologies. Campbell leads Montana. Campbell's gapped Montana a little bit through the middle sector. Gap 6 tenths per second. It'll come back with some DRS, but again, another half a tenth through Stavelo. Campbell's looking a lot happier in these Formula 2 cars than Montana is today, despite the Swiss's penchant for sweating his arse off once the track gets dropped. And Cortez, quarter of a second behind Montana. Montana's got some slipstream now, though. Does reel Campbell in a little bit towards the bus stop, but finally poised. A couple of battles we've got going on. One for the top 4, and then one for 5th. All the way down to Pease in 12th place. This is Formula 2 action, and it's fine. Look at them all just flood round there. The last corner, and Toxic's got a half a second advantage over Rocco, who is where he started in this race, our sprint race winner. And Toxic so wide at the apex in turn 1, you couldn't see it on the camera angle as Pease is having to defend here from California. I wonder if Pease just made a little error which let or invited California in, or if he was making a move, I'm not too sure. Let's go back to our battle for the lead. See if Montana can do anything. No, he absolutely cannot. So instead, let's look at Connor and Rocco. They're line astern all the way down this momentously long straight, but they've got Toxic ahead of them, which is giving some DRS to Rocco, which is protecting him in this race. But Connor's got the outside. He'll switch to the inside. He's going to get pinched up against the curb. They're lucky the car didn't spin around like a spinning top. He'll tuck back and he's pulled to the inside for the hairpin. Toxic got such a shoddy exit out of Malmedy. Rocco's could be making a move here himself for P5. And he does make it through, does Rocco. And around the outside now, is all Connor, and Connor tags that outside wheel of Toxic and then just gets thrust into the wall and sucked in, and he's lost all of his front wing more or less. Meanwhile, behind, look at Taupe and still dicing away. Connor's gone off the track, takes evasive action, can't get that car to turn for love nor money now, and with that front wing damage, and that looked like, I think Toxic should have been a little bit more aware there. I think I'm going to, in the action, in the moment, I'm going to pin the blame there squarely on Toxic, who himself is missing with that front right end fence. Larkin's benefit from that. He's up into 7th. Nathan as well is now 6th. So he's now the biggest gainer from those who started far down. And he's sizing up Rocco here. Could he go around the outside into Blanchimont? It would be a very ballsy move if he can pull it off. He's going to try to pull it off. But Rocco is going to show him the door. And Nathan will have to lift off and concede there. Nothing wrong with Rocco did there. Nathan's going to look up the inside. Larkin's keeping a watching brief here. In fact, he might be having a very attacking brief because Nathan's been boxed in behind Rocco and between Larkin. It's going to be a drag race down towards turn 1. Toxic is still in this battle despite his loss of a front wing, or part of a front wing. But I think the order is going to stay as you were through turn 1, but we'll see who gets the better run through Eau Rouge and up the top of Radion. Penalty for Verstappen in P4, that's not good for him with his alternate strategy as well. I think that's going to condemn him to P4. He is all alone in a race in that position right now as Montana takes the lead back from Campbell, but Campbell's not going to give this one up easily. Is the ART, but he has to on this occasion. Let's quickly go back. Nathan passes Rocco, and Toxic's going to slip through with his minus his front wing end plate. This time it's Larkin that's nearly pinched up against the curb. Larkin gets through safely enough. He's got Rocco ahead, and Rocco has a big moment on the exit, nearly squeezes Larkin to the grass. Larkin goes through, takes P7. Toxic has to settle for P8, although Larkin goes deep into the hairpin and then gets forced off the track and then nearly pirouettes and spears into the wall. Does well to only lose 1 place to Toxic. Oh, that was a big moment. I wonder if he got forced off track there or if he just went very wide of the apex. It looked like more of a bona fide, just pure error from Larkin. Now he's vulnerable to Pease behind him towards the Lefania chicane. Look at this, it's like Formula Ford racing as they come through this middle sector. Connor's missing both sides of his front wing now. Oh, and is that... who was that? That was Koskappen was all sideways there through Lefania. And he's going to have to now contend with California 5 on the soft tyres on the outside of Stavilo. Just about keeps the place. Connor, I don't know how he's still driving. We may as well just come into the pits. He's got no front wing at all. He's extending the track left, right and centre. But he's going to go side by side with Toby into Blanchimont. That is pure lunacy. And Toby's going to have to be aware of how slow the MP Motorsport car is through these high-speed, flat-out corners. And I think Connor will probably go quite deep here. He does indeed. He's going to struggle to get that car turned in. Verstappen into the pits from the soft tyres on the end of lap 5. Nathan will inherit 4th place. Taupe is going to get the run on Connor towards turn 1. But does he want it, or is Connor going to come back at him into Eau Rouge and into Lecombe as Koskappen gets past RJ there. 2 Brummies once again battling away, although Luke's not involved this time. And I think I'm excited to see from Taupe's POV here how well we've got Campbell passing Connor part 3. How well Connor can take Eau Rouge, and the answer is not at all as he gets a 3-second time penalty. Campbell is back ahead of Montana. Cortez, look how close he is in that Williams Carlin for P3, and he's got to be careful. Here's Rocco, loses 2 places to Nathan and to Toxic, possibly, or was that just one he lost? As Larkin and Pease into Malmedy. Pease just about keeping his car between the white lines there. The rear really getting away from him, and Larkin benefited because he takes P7. Penalty for Luke. He's down in 18th place right now. As this battle settles down, Larkin can now get on the back of Rocco and drag Pease with him. Toxic member at the front of this group has a front wing end plate missing for his contact with Connor earlier on in this race. Up front, Campbell leads by less than 4 tenths per second from Montana. Cortez is 3rd. Nathan 8 seconds adrift. He's checked out from this battle now and is looking to probably overcut Verstappen or put himself in a position to fight Verstappen in the second stint when Nathan gets onto the softer rubber. So we were looking at this battle at P5 between Toxic with a penalty, then Rocco, then Larkin, then Pease. And is anyone fancying a sniff towards... I need to stop saying the word sniff. Towards the bus stop chicane. I'm cutting my words up here because look at this battle and then we've got going on between Taupe and Connor, who is minus 3/4 of his front wing. RJ and Koskapen at it as well. As Connor goes very deep, but Tope takes to the pit lane. And with that, Connor will hang on to P9, but only momentarily perhaps, because here comes RJ now on the attack. Tope gets a speeding penalty for his pursuit into the pit lane, and Connor braking very early. Still can't get the car to bite into La Source. And RJ's going to grab some slipstream as Larkin jockeying away with Rocco into Eau Rouge, and that's going to cost Larkin. He won't get the best exit there. He has to do a little confidence lift on top of Radion, but now he tucks into the slipstream. Rocco's got some slipstream, some DRS as well on the back of Toxic, and because of that, Larkin can do sweet sod all about it. Look at Pease coming around the outside of Larkin here, and I think he's absolutely mugged Larkin off there into Le Com. Great racing from Pease as Connor defends from RJ only momentarily, because RJ is through at Malmedy for P9 in this race. Doesn't have a penalty, so that was important. He gets all those penalty runners for his chance of victory. Sagat has spun at the exit of Malmedy as Connor still staunchly refusing to come in and change tyres. He's settling for his lack of a front wing here. You can see that there's literally nothing on the right side of that front wing, but it's not stopping him, and he's battling away with Koskapen now for 10th place as he slides down the order perennially, does the MP Motorsport car. Up ahead, Campbell is still defending from Montana, and Cortez looking ever more menacing. I think Montana's having to think behind him right now more than he is having to think ahead of him. I'd love just a lunge from Cortez just to try and force something to happen, and Cortez, none of them coming into the pits. So the little moment for Montana, just the car not fully biting into the track on traction, as Toxic is now 1 second clear of Rocco, and Toxic coming into the pit lane, as does Pease, as does Larkin there. So Rocco might be feeling like he's going to get a very short change in a lap or so's time. Let's look at the battle of the lead. Montana only 6/10 behind Campbell, not really close enough to force any kind of overtake here, and I think it's Cortez he needs to worry about, because look at Cortez. Cortez has got a great slipstream on the back of them, but now they're really closing in on Campbell towards Le Com, and Montana just shapes to the right just late enough to deny Cortez, but if that straight had been any longer, that could have been a car crash between the two of them. Nathan's out 9 seconds off the back of this battle, which shows you how impressive Campbell's pace is in this race. Further back, let's have a look where Verstappen is. Verstappen is 9 seconds, 10 seconds ahead of Toxic, who has not changed his front wing. He's getting on with it. He would have lost too much time and too much track position, more importantly, had he come in to change it. Pease and Larkin's the battle behind him. Pease is going to cover the inside line from Larkin. Larkin's going to look around the outside. Can he do to Pease what Pease did to him a lap previous? And he does, but he goes a little deep as Larkin's going to have to fight well to defend that position, and he does so, and he holds on to P9, but they can't fight too much. They've got to be thinking about undercutting Rocco ahead of them up the road. Right now, Rocco will presumably be in on this lap. RJ and Koskapen are still dicing away as well. They've also made their pit stop. Let's get the pit stops up, actually. So everyone from Verstappen down has pitted in this race. Connor is the last of our non-stoppers and is running very slowly at his pace with no front wing. And I said, I do feel sorry for him. I think that was Toxic's fault primarily. I'm honest. I think Toxic could have been much more giving with the space. I think he had a right to some space there. Connor was far enough alongside Campbell. Montana and Cortez, our leading trio, are now coming in for some fresh rubber, and it is soft, sticky, juicy rubber. Nathan and Rocco in as well. Connor is staying out with his no front wing. Maybe he wants his 5 minutes of fame at the front of the field, or maybe he just wants to cause some incidents, as Charles Leclerc would say. We've got a spinner at the back, that is Luco 5 HD, has not just spun, he's lost his front wing, Jeff, and he's coming into the pits down in 15th place as it was. How close Montana's come out the pits behind Campbell. He was much more aggressive on pit in or on pit exit, because he's closed right up, but he's going to take somebody's easiest overtake of the day here. Campbell's forcing him all the way to the wall, though, or the grass, or the extremities of the track, and Montana, unfazed, takes the lead of the race, or the net lead of the race. And I wonder how hard he's going to find it to get past Connor compared to QVR Campbell when they catch up to the MP Motorsport car. Pease passes Larkin, this time he's going up the inside into Lecom. Koskappen passes Rocco. Rocco has lost out massively in this by staying out. He's now down in 12 places behind Tope. I wonder if he may have to make a front wing change perhaps. Perhaps an unwanted one if he was on auto wing change. Oh, and the rear one in slide there hits the back of his Red Bull colleague in the Carlin. And he's really searching for an opportunity. You can see Rocco trying to force something out of Koskappen, gets a good run down the hill towards Pouon, and he's going to tell Koskappen, you go late, and in fact he's duped him into getting a penalty. Tremendous driving from Rocco. Koskappen, silly to fall for the bait really. He's just letting himself be bullied and intimidated by Rocco here. He's just putting his car on the right parts of the racetrack to really spook the Carlin of Koskappen. Montana has a half-second advantage over Campbell. They've taken 3 seconds out of Connor on this lap. All of that primarily in the middle sector. I don't think they'll get DRS though. I think half a second. You're not going to make that in turn 1 unless Connor really has a bad one. Famous last words. I've probably spoken too soon there, and I think they might get it. You know, the 1.2 seconds. No, I don't think they are going to get it. Connor had to lift off completely to let Montana into his DRS there, and Campbell, has he got the run over the top of Radion? I think he has. You get the slipstream so early here because of the uphill effect. The slipstream is magnified, and Campbell once again is going to return the favour. Montana paid him last lap, gets a very easy overtake, and he's going to be the first one to encounter that wingless MP of Connor. Behind them, Larkin and Peter resume their love affair for the 4th lap in a row. Peter's going to come on the inside. You're going to send Larkin the long way around. Larkin's got a good run, but he's not ahead by the braking zone. And Pease, I think, is going to cover that off this lap. For the first time in 4 laps, these two do not switch places. Koskappen and Rocco will, though, as Rocco barges his way through on Koskappen. Takes P11, has a penalty to his name. In fact, most of them in the back end of the field do, but not Larkin and Pease. That battle going away. Campbell passes Connor into Pouon. That's an audacious move from Campbell, and Connor, in fact, isn't giving up a place to Montana too easily here, but he's going to be forced to. Montana slips through, doesn't lose any time in the process. What about Cortez? Cortez is going to be very flat-footed here. In fact, no, I think Connor let him go, but has that cost Cortez DRS? I don't think so. So with 3 laps to go, don't neglect Cortez in the battle for victory in this race. Let's return our attentions to Larkin and Pease, the other main battle on track right now. That is the one for P8. We've also got Rocco Koskappen and RJ for P11 right now. RJ is set to jump both of those on penalties as Larkin's got very close to the back of that. Dam's checking out that the diffuser of that Dallara built car, and Pease goes a little bit trying to defend, but Larkin not in position really to cut underneath. Nathan gets fast after the race. He's in P6 right now. He needs another 2 seconds on the back of Verstappen to get him on penalties with 3 laps to go. I think that is possible, but we'll see. We've got a yellow flag. That is Rocco has dropped it at the exit of the last corner as Campbell defends the inside line to the extreme once again. Montana's got such a run and got tremendous more VMAX as they come towards the Lecom, and he just gets baited there by Campbell to the inside, and then Campbell just cuts across and defends the lead at the last moment. Larkin passes Pease round the outside. He does make the move this lap, and I'm sure Larkin's thinking, well, Pease, lad, you pass me next lap and then I'll get you back on the last lap, and that's how we'll finish. And these two are very much playing out just for P8 right now, but a good race though it is. Verstappen is the next to attack the back of Connor. Connor still hasn't made a pistol in this race. He needs to make one at some point. No safety cars are particularly forthcoming, so that was Connor's strategy, has not worked out very well. And if Verstappen gets held up here, and he's going to get held up massively here, this is going to bring Nathan right into Verstappen's penalty window. And I think that could have just won Nathan P4 in this race, if indeed he's not held up to the same extent that Verstappen was. And he gave his 3.4 seconds. Now, Rocco has died, everybody, at No Name. Cookie Corner, as it's known in LOE. I just made that up, but still where QVR Cookie died in Season 3 under the safety car in his title fight, momentous title fight, legendary title fight with QVR Gary, although it wasn't QVR Gary, then he was XL Gary. Cortez, fastest lap of the race as we enter the penultimate lap of the race, and the top three are less than a second between them. As Connor does finally make his pit stop and gets a speeding penalty as well. Not a good race for him after such a rampant, resurgent start after his DSQ in qualifying. So let's see how these two are going to play. Are they going to play chicken? Is Montana going to wait for the last lap and not want to overtake Camel? I think he is, you know. I think Montana is settling for P2 on this lap with the view to taking P1 on the last lap, and it defends his place from Cortez as well. I think he's played that smart if he can make the overtake on the next lap. What about Pease and Larkin? Is Pease going to do the same? Is he going to back off, or is he going to make the move? He dupes Larkin, takes the inside line. He's not interested in waiting for any last lap DRS shenanigans. He takes P7 in this race for the God knows how many time. With just a lap and a half to go, 2 DRS zones to go as well. We're not seeing many moves into turn 1 under DRS, so I think it is just that run into Lecom that's going to show where the final placings lie. Verstappen, thanks to NSX Connor holding him up here through his part of the track through Lefania, does now have Nathan within his penalty window. The gap is 3 seconds, and Verstappen lost a second and a half behind Connor, who might have held on to that place if it wasn't for the MP Motorsport car. He's going to lose out instead to his teammate in the VAR, QVR Nathan, who's down in P5. So, 1 lap to go. Are we going to see some classic Montana DRS chicken, only this time played against him by QVR Campbell? Gap is less than a quarter of a second, and Campbell is he backing them up through? I don't think he is. He's just going at his pace, and he's not falling for any Montana tactics yet. He can't really afford to play DRS chicken anyway, because they've got Cortez so close behind them. Campbell's just going to have to hope for the best here, and I think the best he can hope for, honestly, is P2. The gap's at less than 4 tenths of a second. I think Montana's got this one in the bag, you know. Not to speak too soon, but look how close he is. He's less than 2 tenths behind, and we've not even got over the crest of Radion yet. Montana's got this breezily sewn up, I think, although Campbell's going to try to force him to the grass. Look at Cortez, though. Look at Cortez up the inside as they come towards Lecombe. Could Cortez win this race, possibly? He's battling away with Campbell. Maybe Campbell should have played DRS chicken after all. We've got a yellow flag. That is for Sagat on the start line. But it's going to be Montana that, I think, takes P1 here. Campbell does hold on for P2. Larkin, meanwhile, is he going to get past P to P7? I think he is, and P's wasn't drawn into those DRS games on the last lap, but it's cost him P7 here potentially. Had he not passed Larkin last time around? Oh no, they've come to blows at Malmedy, and P's just tapped the back of Larkin's Charouz there and nearly set himself into the wall. Recovers the car with no damage, but is down in P10 now. That's a free place for RJ, who will get Tope on penalties as well. Larkin wins out of that duel of wits between those two that's rumbled on all race long. And it's going to be Montana from Campbell, or is it going to be Montana from Campbell? Because look at Cortez here, how close he is to the back of Poucher's ART. And we have got just a couple of 100 metres to go here, and look at Cortez's run. Is he going to make a lunge? I think he may as well. You know, whatever way Campbell goes, Cortez will go the other. And Cortez, he forces Campbell very deep on the brakes. Can he cut back underneath the ART and get a run to the line? No, he can't. It's going to be Montana from Campbell, from Cortez, in a breathless battle for victory. Verstappen is going to come in 4th on track, but he's going to get leaped by his teammate Nathan on penalties in the 2 MP Motorsport cars. In fact, Nathan slows down on the line, allows Verstappen the P4. Toxic takes 6th. He's going to get jumped by Larkin, I think, for 7th. Yes, Larkin takes 6th, Toxic 7th. Tope will finish 8th. He gets overtaken by RJ, and RJ jumps Toxic as well. Toxic must have had a good few penalties. RJ passes Tope as well. Tope's lost 2 places. Toxic's lost 2 places in that. Koskapen passed by RJ on the line. I think Koskapen had a spin or something coming through bus stop. Connor will take a lowly 13th. Drops to 14th, 15th, 16th with penalties added on after all his track extensions with no wing. And Luke takes 17th, although Connor does have the consolation of fastest lap. QVR Nathan receives Driver of the Day as awarded by the in-game fans. And I'm going to go through the orders, and then I'm going to shoot straight off because I want to go watch Chelsea get absolutely spanked in the Champions League against Dortmund, conveniently and very generously. They started the game 10 minutes late, so I've not missed too much, as we see NSX Montana celebrating on the podium there, and then his all-male crew with the one duplicated female character model that Codemasters have in their lockers there, standing to acclaim NSX Montana, as well as the Prima driver takes victory here in Belgium. Campbell finishes second and Cortez completes the podium. It's 3 in a row for QVR, with Verstappen taking fourth, and then 4 in a row with Nathan in fifth. Larkin takes sixth ahead of RJ, both of whom made gains on penalties. Toxic drops to 8th as a result of that. Pease is 9th, Tope is 10th. California just misses out on a top 10 finish with an 11th place finish after starting in 16th. Koskappen had an eventful and scruffy couple of races. He finishes 12th ahead of Dowry in Miami. Sagat, who didn't really have it go his way at any point in these two races. Connor is 16th. Luke 17th. Rocco DNF'd, as did Marty. And that completes your placings for today. Thank you for tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you with me. I've been QVR Killer, and I'm not sure what track we have next week because we don't find out until 2 weeks in advance. Not 2 weeks, 2 hours in advance. Makes more sense. But I don't know if anyone will be taking you through it, but if anyone is, we'll see you then. Same time, same place. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.